going on, Patriots? How y'all guys doing tonight, man? Oh man, another edition of You Bitch Joe Davis Network. I got the music thing in the background. Gonna put it on and slide that on down. So again, for my podcast, y'all already know what it is. Official Patriot News Live. Thank y'all so much for being here with me this evening. First things first, before I start my podcast slash recording, I want to give another moment of love and appreciation to my sister, Shandala Goodson. God called her for her wings last night. You know, I'm very much still dealing with it, but I do know one thing she always told me: to keep pressing on and keep doing what I have to do to, you know, make life as comfortable as possible. So, with that being said, this is definitely dedicated to her. I love her. She will always be my older sister, will always be my number one fan. So, with that being said, guys, we got a lot to talk about tonight. Trump is in the building officially. He has been president for the last 120 hours. And because of this, he has turned the world upside down, especially with liberals, because due to the fact of the matter, he has shown everyone that he is living up to what he have told the American people he's going to do. And that is take care of business. Now, I know a lot of people have came in the comments section of various people talking about, well, Joel, what about the economy? We need the economy cleaned up ASAP. And rah. Well, here's the thing, guys. There's a method to the madness, okay? Before you can jump up here and clean up the economy, we first got to clean up the things that is causing unrest in the country. That is being illegal immigrants that don't need to be here. Now, Trump had already said that he was going to conduct the massive, most complex deportation that this country has ever seen. Well, it is coming to light. It's happening. And a lot of people are upset. But we are going to break down stories of people being upset. We're also going to break down stories of people getting passed through to be a part of the administration. And we're also going to discuss people that has buyer's remorse. If y'all give me one moment. But I'm back, guys. I had to talk to my wife right quick. And shout out to Miss Davis. She is telling everybody hi. She is still trying to get over some of her sickness and things of that nature, but she's doing a little bit better than what she's been. But anyway, I'm going to try to keep this broadcast within an hour range, because I did kind of start a little late. I didn't know it was this late and things of that nature. So we're going to hit all the important stuff as quick as possible. So the first thing we are going to talk about is this whole situation about the ICE coming to the schools. Now I'm about to share with y'all some of the comments that was stated and what really happened when it came to this school. I'm gonna break it down after y'all see a couple of these quick 50-second video clips, two of them at minimum.
I tried entering the Chicago school that I worked at. And let me just say, first and foremost, that I am so proud of our admin for acting quickly and for following protocol and not allowing ICE to enter the school building or to get in contact with any of our students. As a speech language pathologist that works directly with these families and students, it infuriates me so much to hear that they tried entering the building. To do what? To detain students that are harmless. ICE is purposely trying to detain students, children, knowing that their family members are going to pick them up after school. This happened midday. I guarantee you their plan was to probably detain students and wait out until their family got there to go get them. Schools are supposed to be safe havens where our children can go learn, grow, and feel safe, not places where they can feel intimidation and fear. Although ICE didn't enter the building, what they did do is create fear amongst the community members, because now the students don't feel safe and now the students can't focus on learning because they're too worried about getting separated from their family members. You need to remember that these actions have real life consequences. Parents being torn away from their children wondering if their family is going to be targeted next. This is all stress-inducing, trauma-inducing to our very own children. Charlamagne was one of the first Chicago schools to be targeted by ICE, but as you can see, this is going to continue to happen across the U.S. And what we need to do now, more than ever, is as educators, be united to advocate and protect the families and children that we are working with. Children deserve to be able to focus on their education and not worry about whether they're going to be separated from their parents. Let that sit with you.
Oh man, here we go again. Guys, this is another edition of what the left tries to do. They try to create this hectic situation where it's going to make you feel and pull on the heartstrings and make you say, you know what, Trump is a bad guy. You should have never voted for him. That's it. It's over. In reality, this never happened. Okay, for one, it was the Secret Service that came by. Oh, it gets better. The Secret Service was investigating a actual report of a what they call a protector, people that protect children, I think, or immigration status. I think they protect the kids. Yeah, protect the kids in general. Had some kind of threat that was endangering their life. So riddle me this: if you saw the paperwork they showed you, how did you get ICE out of Secret Service? Because every person I've ever talked to that's seen the Secret Service, that paperwork says the United States Secret Service, USS. It does not say Immigration, Customs, and Enforcement Agents. I mean, just make it make sense to me. Again, this is another example of the liberals trying to create unrest in your mind to make you feel like that these children, the ICE are the big bad boogeymen that are coming out here and just snatching children from their families, and they just deporting these kids by themselves with mama and daddy not on board. It is a lie. And I'm going to tell you why it's a lie. It's a lie because they have to, at some point of the game, create unrest for you to question the ability of the illegal immigrants for being removed. But at the end of the day, if anybody get caught up to be detained, whether it's a child or even a immigrant that is legal in this country and has gotten their paperwork, it is because of these liberal leaders in these blue cities. They would not cooperate with ICE. They said, we're not going to cooperate. We don't have to. We're a sanctuary city. Well, if you're saying those things, congratulations. You have set yourself up and the people in your community to be a sitting target. That's just what it is. You cannot say it no other way. That's why people are sitting up here laughing their asses off as conservative like us and even libertarians because they done put it all together. This is just Democrats running game. You know what the definition of insanity is? You keep doing the same thing over and over again and you want a different result, but it keeps coming out the same. It's because that strategy that you're running is never going to produce a different result because it's not meant for that different result. It is set up to do one thing and one thing only. And that's just what it is. So, with that being stated, congratulations, Democrats. Once again, you have made a fool out of yourself, and no one, I mean nobody, is never going to believe you ever again. That's just what it is. You have lost your credibility. You have lost your footing. And that's just what it is. Now, let's continue on down the yellow brick road on other things that are going on in the world of Trump getting by everybody together. Now, I'm going to go on here and let me pull this up. And this is not and this is related to politics, but it's from a sports commentator perspective. Go share this screen here. Now, y'all guys know who Stephen Smith is. Stephen Smith is a well-renowned, respected journalist.
Cancer. It's different in a child.
ESPN.
Because your child's still growing.
What's going on, Roger?
I had 14 rounds of chemo.
Stop
There's
this, y'all.
thousands and thousands of kids all over the world.
Sorry about that. Now, he's going to come up and talk in this next thing here about how Trump has set a standard that even him as a lifetime liberal ever thought was going to happen. So I'm going to play a little bit of this, and then I am going to sum it up right quick on why Stephen Smith feels the way he feels. Again, this is fair use, fair use, fair use. And this is Stephen A. Smith talking.
You should not have a glum face. Because you call First Take. He has a hit podcast. All right, well, why the glum face? Stephen A. Smith. You should not have a glum face.
Because you call me to rub it in, man. I mean, the only reason is a few days. I'm listening to you talk about the Democrats. I mean, what happened to moving forward? You know, you're talking about the cognitive decline again. You're choosing every opportunity to take a shot. What happened to moving forward? What happened to moving forward?
I don't take shots. We have a rule. When I'm talking on my radio show or on this show about sports, you never miss an opportunity to write me. You say, stay in your lane. When you talk about politics, what do I write you? Stay in your lane. What is it that I really want to understand? I was talking about Joe's cognitive decline before the 2020 election. I was excoriated for pointing it out. The media beat the hell out of me for pointing it out. What is it, about now that your eyes opened up? I told you about their policies failing. We showed everybody the border. We talked about the economy. We talked about war in Europe, war in the Middle East. We talked about their weakness in regarding America's position in the world. What part of my commentary did you miss?
Well, first of all, it was coming from you, so I'm inclined to ignore it half the time because you know how I hate agreeing with you. That's number one. Number two, I think that one of the things that's inescapable is that you talk about things. You talk about inflation. There was inflation under Trump. You talk about spending. There was some spending under Republicans. But in the end, here's what it comes down to. We looked at Biden as a problem. You were supposed to be a transitional president. You ended up trying to run. You embarrassed yourself by going on the debate stage June 27th. What we found out post-election is how so many people on the left were a part of it. When you think about and you hear about what Biden's position is and how he and his family don't necessarily vibe with Nancy Pelosi anymore. They feel betrayed. They wondered about what they feel about Obama, even though former President Barack Obama put out that very nice tweet about Joe Biden a couple of days ago. We see Kamala Harris and some of the things that they're saying about her now, and they weren't saying it before.
All right, so what Stephen A. is saying in this actual clip is that the liberal elites had him fooled and a lot of these other liberal followers fooled that Trump was the enemy, for one. Number two, that Biden and Kamala Harris were the sure fit choices to stop Trump from getting into office. Last but not least, they also beat in these guys' head that were liberal followers that Trump is convicted of 34 felonies. America would never, ever be comfortable with a felon running the country. But see, this is the thing that Democrats forget about, and a lot of people have forgotten about American history. America loves the bad guy if he is standing up for what is right. See, this is what they forgot. The more they made Trump look bad, the more he became appealing to the American people. Because the American people was like, yo, this dude done got 34 felonies. They done try to give him a lawsuit about something that is asinine, tried to get on him for paying off an alleged side piece that was going to talk about his extracurricular activities outside of his marriage, which again, that is alleged because I don't know if that was true or not, but even if it was between him and Melania. I mean, this is the stuff that people are looking at and are saying, wow, this man is rich and y'all doing this to him? Oh, he's gotta be someone amazing and important. Because usually the elites don't try to go after people that's got the type of money that Trump got. When you're a billionaire, the elites want to keep you under their thumb. They want to keep you close. But then it makes us start thinking, oh, I know why. He cannot be purchased. He cannot be controlled. That's why they're trying to destroy it. And that's exactly what happened here. Everybody started seeing the truth. 2024 was the year of revelation. The revelation of that a lot of things that we were being told in the media by the liberals were not true. They were absolute lies. They were trying to manipulate the narrative to where they was going to have us eating out of the palm of their hand. But at the end of the day, the American people, seeing how the economy is, seeing how they cannot sustain a comfortable setting to where they can live and do the things they do, they decided that they were going to go opposite of what they normally go against. And again, people got to understand something. Everybody at the end of the day is going to vote with their wallet. They're not going to vote off of emotions. They're always going to vote with their wallet. Always have and always will. All right, let's continue with what Stephen A. Smith has to say.
Hearing how, and then you see the media, as you say, the media. And what are people doing? They're jumping down to Mar-a-Lago to kiss his ring. They're trying to make sure that he's not going to be targeting them. All of a sudden, you don't hear racists now. You don't hear associations with Nazis and Hitler and all of this other stuff. You're like, wait a minute here. You were sitting around convincing everybody and their grandmama that this dude was just completely unfit, the worst scourge to the earth that you could find. And now suddenly that you find yourself in this position, it's not like you're Michelle Obama, who wasn't, who elects not to be at the inauguration, or Nancy Pelosi. Instead, now you've got people kissing his you know what. And
all right, and I want to say something about that situation with Obama. Big Mike not going to the actual ceremony of the inauguration and all these other even Jimmy Carter's funeral. Allegedly, there is talks around the campfire that the Obamas' marriage is not doing so well. Same thing around the campfire about Kamala and her husband are not doing so well because of what happened with the election results. Now, again, this is all alleged. I will show y'all what the rumors is and what's going on with that. But in this case of the game, I wouldn't be surprised because most of the time, Michelle Obama was always bragging about she loved rock. But I think that it done got to the point that Barack has made all these promises of trying to get things a certain way for the elites. And I guess for her to be a part of the elite club, and I don't think it's going as well as they thought it was. But again, I digress. Let me play a little bit more of these clips and round this up.
And I'm looking at that and I'm saying,
the kissing in the ring, the kissing his ass, sucking on toes. I'll agree with you. It's pretty disgusting. People that didn't support him and probably will turn on him on a dime. But here's what you watched last night. You watched the farewell address, and you said it is sad. And I inferred from that what you were saying is you're sad because he is a sad figure. He is a shadow of his former self.
Yes.
And my question to you are very smart, you are intelligent, you are articulate, you're combative, I love you. However, why I played montage after montage after montage on this program for years. You have seen them. How did you miss it? How did you possibly miss that?
Hold it. Let me answer. First of all, don't try that with me. I called Joe Biden out a year before the election. I got right through the calls right along with you. When you got right through the calls, I was right there. Everybody was like, "What are you talking about? You don't know anything." Excuse me. It was 2 years later. But the bottom line is I was right there the year before the election. Okay, that's number one. Number two, when I talked about Kamala Harris and voting for her, what I said is I didn't want chaos replicating what we saw in his first term. I figured you got the House, you can win the House, you can win the Senate. You'll have people that can literally position her and pull her to the center, and there won't be as much chaos because I didn't like the way that he acted. That's all I said. I didn't have a problem with.
All right, now this will be the last part. If you want to see the rest of this, you guys are going to have to go on to the Fox News and search Stephen A. Smith talking about how he hated vote for Kamala Harris. So here's a couple of things that you guys probably do not know about Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith has a lot of friends that are conservative. Now, I know that a lot of people do not know that because of the way he acts, but a lot of his friends are very conservative. I give you a couple of his friends that are conservative in the game. Bill O'Reilly. He's friends with my man Haney. He also cordial with Tucker Carlson. So a lot of people on the Fox News side, what's up, Mo? What's going on, bro? And the other side, y'all shout out to my man Mo, man. We gotta link up, Mo. And definitely follow my other platform, Mo. The official Patriot News Live, because I'm not gonna have access to this other Joel Davis Media Network soon because of what happened with my brand channel. And I have to tell you about that later. But either way it goes, and my dog is barking. Sorry, guys. Either way it goes, he should have always been a conservative. I don't never see why he wasn't. I mean, I really don't. I never see why he is not a conservative. Because to me, you know, and I know that this man is smarter than what he looks. And I think that Stephen A. Smith is one of those guys that he likes to play the role. Like, you know, I have to play a role where I can make people think that I'm with the left because I've been a Democrat, I'm a spokesperson, and cool with a lot of the black athletes and the black community. But at the end of the day, it shouldn't matter about all that. Because if you're well respected and well read, you should be able to stay in what you believe in and still not lose not a one follower, maybe a couple. But that's just facts. So to say that, am I surprised that Stephen A. Smith said this? I am not at all. And I would not be surprised between him and Charlamagne the God, they may become libertarian or they may even become conservative because they are not happy with the direction of what the Democrat Party is going. And the Democrat Party won't change because they are still stuck in thinking that the only way they can get people to rock with them is by victim blaming. And it's sad but true. All right, let's go to another thing here. Y'all give me 1 second. Because I think y'all gonna like this. I'm about to search for it. I knew I had it earlier. I should have saved it. Alright, y'all give me 1 second. My y'all give me 1 second. Where? Nobody there, buddy. Nobody there. There you go. Alright. Thank you. Please keep it down. Thank you, son. Sorry, y'all. You hear the barking in the background on the podcast. That's what it is. I cannot help it. So I want to talk about Charlamagne the God, who was recently on the Fox News channel. And let me tell you about Charlamagne the God. What's up, man? Hey, let me make sure y'all get to this channel here on the follow me on. Hold on. Let me do that right now before I go any further. Let me go put this in the link so y'all can follow this channel. Because this is the new channel. Because like I said before, I don't know when they're going to take this channel officially down because it was attached to a brand channel. So I'm trying to make sure that y'all got a way of being there with me. Y'all keep that in mind right there. Y'all follow that channel that I just put in. That is the new channel. Go on and subscribe to it so that way every time, make sure your notification bell is up. So every time I'm on there, y'all know that I'm on there. Because that's what the channel I'm going to be mostly at. So, now Charlamagne the God, like I said, he has been a radio host and has been the most outspoken liberal you could ever lay your eyes on. Now, he's been going back and forth on Fox News lately, and him and Andrew Schultz had a debate about if Trump achieved the things that, like ending wars in Gaza and Ukraine, making sure border security, and bringing down inflation while he's in there. Now, Charlamagne was like, yeah, if you prove them wrong, you'll win. But here's the thing. We also got these radical liberals that no matter what Trump does and how successful he is, they will not agree. And that's what Charlamagne has said, because Andrew Schultz has said, well, if he proven wrong, everything will be fine and the Democrat Party will get their identity back. Thank you, Theo, for just subscribing. I appreciate you. They're never going to get their identity back. And let me tell you why. Because they will not let go of all of this DEI stuff. They will not let go of the 34 felonies that they engineered for him to get. They will not let go of how he made Biden look like a sack of poo because the man is in cognitive decline. They will not let go how he made Kamala Harris look like a rookie when it comes to being in politics. Like, they're not going to let that stuff go. Because Trump did not fit the mold that they wanted him to be. They wanted him to be this rich, uppity white man who get all this pressure from all of these Wokian-like people. And he was supposed to say, okay, all right, I fold. Well, you got to understand, the man didn't become a billionaire for folding. People that are billionaires don't fold. They always are thinking, and they're always finding ways to innovate themselves to where they need to be. Trump knew from the beginning what that innovation needed to be. I need to be with the alignment of the people, because other candidates didn't set themselves in line with the people. They talk at the people, not to the people. And that's why Trump is who he is now. What is he doing tonight? He went by the casino in Vegas and he's shaking everybody's hand. He's still going to go to UFC events. He's still going to hang out with those guys even while he's in office. Because you know why? Because Trump is a people's person. He's a people's president. He's showing people you can do this and still be great. And that's just facts, man. I mean, it is what it is. The truth is the truth. Now, when it comes to Charlamagne saying that the Democratic Party is delusional, he's right. They are delusional. And the reason why they're delusional because they do not like to accept change. They want to still do the things they've been doing for the last 60 plus years, spreading fear and false information. Speaking of that, let's jump into Trump rolling back the LBJ executive order. I'm trying to find this executive order. I'll give you 1 second. Alright. So I found it. Sorry about that, y'all. It took me a little minute. I had to find it. So that's why I was a little quiet. So let's talk about this executive order.
Executive orders, presidential memoranda, and others.
So Trump was signing executive orders at the Capital One building, right? Capital One arena. But there was one particular order that got Wokians upset. And this was the executive order that was written by President Lyndon Baines Johnson, which was Executive Order 11246, which was signed on September of 1965. And this was a part of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, 14th Amendment. Now, here what Trump has done, and I'm going to just break it down. I'm not going to read the order. You can read it yourself. Trump decided that order needed to go because it was the reason why we were having all this woke BS going on in this country. Now, this executive order that Lyndon B. Johnson had created was making it where you had to hire a certain number of minorities in your workplace to show diversity at the time, because they felt like that even though they fought for the civil rights law legislation to be a part of the 14th Amendment, that at the end of the day, a lot of these companies were not honoring it, in the government especially. So what Lyndon B. Johnson did, because y'all got to remember, allegedly Lyndon B. Johnson had said that if he had signed that, when he signed that 1964 Civil Rights Bill, he said the following. He said, these niggas will be voting for Democrat for the next 200 years. Exactly what everyone has said around the immediate circle that President Lyndon Baines Johnson said at the time when he was acting president. Because, let me look up one more thing. Because y'all know that JFK got assassinated almost a year before that was even signed. He got assassinated in 1963. So Lyndon B. Johnson was the president back then. And he was trying to do everything he can to make sure that he was going to be next up to be elected for the next term. Now, I'm not finished. Fast forward to 2025, right? We have seen what this initiative has done, because this all led to affirmative action. Again, trying to make sure you had quota met for your workplace to look like it was diverse. Well, let's talk about what that was really doing. Let's say, for instance, you had a job company that had predominantly white people, but your next minority of people that were also in the bunch was Asian folks. Well, you ain't got no black folks, you ain't got no Hispanic folks. You keep getting these applications, and the best ones that's for the job that's coming to you in these applications are the Asian or the white folk. And every time you come on an application with the black or the Hispanic, their credentials are not adding up to the par that you need to hire. So you at a dilemma. You can either you can hire said Asian people, white folks, and then get told that you're doing discriminatory practices, or B, you can hire other minorities, but the problem with that is you're going to have to be prepared to let them go if their performance do not be up to par with everyone else's performance that you have hired and have set the standard. That's what starts happening with these companies. And then back then, as of even now, high turnover because of what's going on with this quota thing. You got the guys that know how to do the work get frustrated because they got other guys that not as good as they are not as strong in doing the work like they is. And if they complain or fire any of these guys too much, then they can mess around and get a lawsuit saying they're being discriminatory. That's why Trump got rid of it, because it should be merit-based. Now, what is merit-based? I'm glad you asked. Merit-based is the thing that the civil rights movement was intended for. If you see that I am qualified to do said job and my qualifications are way more higher than anybody that you got working or any of the other applicants, my skin color should not matter. You should just go ahead on and hire me and move forward. Back in the day when we had the civil rights movement and there was a lot of black Americans that took pride in education and was highly qualified to do the job, they didn't get picked up because, again, it was because of their race. Well, when Lyndon B. Johnson put that into play, it really made things worse, because now you're not making it a distinguishing part where, oh yeah, you got to meet quota, but they have to be able to match the skill. It was more like, you got to meet quota, you got to hire them. And then after that, that's up to you on if you want them to succeed or not. And that's when the problems arose. And not only did it affect with job market, it affected with colleges. You had a lot of kids going to Ivy League schools that test scores, SATs, was straight BS. You know what I'm saying? Straight boo-boo. But you can't tell them that. You got to make quota. So you're going to have to let this bad producing student get in this class, be with you, or whatever have you in this college, and now you got to see them struggle for the next 2 or 2.5 years. Well, you can't remove them or kick them out the program, because then you can be considered a racist. So now you got to let them drop out. And then when they do get ready to feel like they want to drop out, they're going to complain to the student advisor. And the student advisor cannot even be nowhere in their culture. And it's going to make them believe that the reason why they're struggling is because the white man want to see them down. And then when we go at it again, no accountability for one. Number two, no one sat down and told this kid that he was in the wrong program to begin with. 3, no one looked out at this kid's mental well-being. And 4, now we got a kid that's a dropout, a failure, and now he doesn't even have the drive to even finish to learn a skill or a new thing to go forward in life. So yes, this was a pain in the ass. We don't need it. If black folks want to be competitive now, on merit, instead of complaining about all this, oh, he's trying to make it back in the 1960s. Oh my God, we're never going to do it. Quit being victims. Start looking at making sure that the people in your community are being held accountable to make you successful. Do you know how a lot of the white neighborhoods that you see that's part of the HOA, you know how they keep their neighbors and everybody around them to a high standard? It's because they live by it and they enforce it. And they're not going to put up with nothing less. That's the same attitude we have to have in all of these minority communities. If you want your minority community to succeed and to excel, you got to put your foot down and ask for nothing less. That means you need to go to these council meetings and push for these kids to have warm areas to study at, or cool areas in the summertime to function and study at, to focus on educational based things, after school activities, drilling in kids' heads. If you are not successful with doing what you need to do in this school with grades, you will not play on these teams. You will not be able to do this and do that. Set the standard that it's okay to be successful and excellent. Another problem in the black community we have, and I'm going to say this and I'm going to go to the next, is that we like to down each other when we see someone that is smart and that is trying to better themselves. We're good at it. Man, I don't know why you study like that. You ain't gonna need that. You ain't gonna need calculus, bro. You ain't gonna need learn how to do all these fractions, or you ain't gonna need to learn how to do this, so and so, and write this and write that. And so these kids get discouraged. Well, my peers telling me I don't need that. They say I look like a lame studying like that. I ain't doing it. So now the kid ain't reading books. Kid ain't trying to go to school. They ain't trying to build themselves. And this is how we create criminals. Just being honest. You want to stop the madness? Quit allowing the same cycle to continue. Quit letting history repeat itself. I wish there was many a times, bro, I would have did what I had to do as a young jit and would have not been chasing and going crazy out here in these streets. But I didn't listen at the time because I wanted to do what the hell I wanted to do, and I wanted to be the cool kid. And I look back on it now, in my 40s, I wish I would have listened and would have stayed my ass in these books. Because you know what? I could have been successful. I could have been a lawyer. I could have been a doctor. Hell, I could have been a professor somewhere. So people just got to understand that there's more to the game than what they're thinking. Way more in the game, bro. Way more. Alright. I'm going to go up here. We got one more thing to talk about here. Yeah, there's one more. Hold on. Let me look this up for y'all. Hold on. So this has been out of Ohio. This young lady here, and this was on Fox News. And man, let me tell you. So let me show y'all this lady right quick. Hold on. So this woman is named Michelle Bishop. I'm gonna let her tell her story right quick of what happened. Um, y'all know that I like to keep it G. So we're gonna go ahead on and do a fair use and and let her tell a little bit of her story of what happened and then go from there. So y'all give me one moment. Let me play it from the beginning so y'all can see this. Fair use, fair use, fair use.
It was just before 6 o'clock. Winters in Ohio, it gets dark early. And so my daughter and my son and I, we were heading out to go for a jog. And just a couple nights prior, we went out and we were looking at the Christmas lights. And my daughter was like, can we do that again? So we went out for a jog. We were finishing the second half. It had gotten dark. My husband was like, you need to get home soon. It's going to get dark. And so as we were finishing our run, we were on the back half of the neighborhood and it's new construction and it's poorly lit back there. And we're listening to Chris's music, we're jogging, and I just noticed headlights coming from behind me, and we're in the street, and just like any mom, I just constantly think about my babies, my kids. And so I start moving towards the sidewalk. I cut through the grass. I'm walking on the sidewalk, and the car is not passing me in a timely manner. So I'm just taking note of it. And then as I'm walking the sidewalk, I hear a voice, and he starts asking me questions. And so I just started. I didn't answer. I walked into. I told my daughter, walk up this driveway, turn here, don't look back at the truck. And so we went into the driveway, ended up on the porch, was ringing the doorbell. Nobody was answering. At that point, the truck was backing into the driveway. He stayed in his truck. I could not see him. And I look out at the driveway at that point and I said, is this your home? And he said, yes. And I said, I don't believe that. And in that moment, I was in just complete defense mode. I was challenging it. There was no way of changing my mind at that point. I was completely in panic and just trying to protect my kids. So I ran. And when I went back to get my stroller that night with my husband, and I was talking to the woman on the porch, that is when I realized that they were a Black family. I even told the woman that night of the house that I ran to that I thought he was a young white man. And it was literally the worst timing and a massive misunderstanding. That night with him on the porch, I said, I was sorry multiple times. I sincerely, you could hear it in my voice. I was trying to help him understand my point of view of why I was walking up to their driveway. And I did. I said I was so sorry, and I thought it was going to be left at that, but now here we are. After that point, I said I was sorry multiple times to them that night, and they went inside. They did not accept the apology, and I just thought it was that. So we went home, and a couple months later, right after Christmas, it was brought to my attention that a letter was floating around the neighborhood that said that it had been a racial profiling attempt. Completely caught off guard. My husband knew that it would wreck me, and so immediately we're like, what do we do? How do we handle this? We orchestrated. We tried to have, through mutual friends, set up a meeting with them, and the wife did not want to meet with me. That was when we took the letter with them, helping them understand that the woman at the house even said that I told her it was a white young man, and they did not want to meet with us. At that point, they decided to reveal the footage on our neighborhood Facebook page, and it went through the entire neighborhood. And at that point, that is when I did a live video in my neighborhood page, again, addressing the situation, helping the neighborhood understand, who we are and what happened that night. And I apologize sincerely to Michael and Brittany in that video, again, specifically to them. And then through comments in the Facebook page, I tagged Brittany, telling her that I prayed that my video that day would reconcile things, and that I would be given the opportunity someday to show her who we really are.
All right, that's enough there. Now, let me tell y'all something. I'm sorry about that. I don't know why I was cutting in and out. I had it where it shouldn't be. Let me. Yeah, I don't know why I was cutting in and out, but I made sure it wasn't. But if you didn't hear, this is what happened. So this lady here is an Ohio mother. You know what I'm saying? She is taking a job and everything like most women would do that are in, affluent neighborhoods that are active or, try to keep themselves right. And while she was taking a job, she seen, and this is during the Christmas holidays, she seen a vehicle drive slow. Now, you got to understand. Oh, they going bad. Okay, that's probably because of I'm gonna start muting my mic, and I will start muting it whenever I play this. So here she is. You know what I'm saying? Seeing this guy, driving slowly while she's running, and she has her kids with her. So any mama bear got their kids, your husband's not around, this guy's driving slow, you're going to literally freak out and try to get for help. So she goes to the next house that she sees. After this car is, been driving slow, following her. To let me get inside, can y'all kind of look for this car? Maybe call the cops. I don't feel comfortable. I feel like it's following me. Okay. The car pulls up to the house and she's banging on the door. That's getting no answer. Sees the man, sits there in his driveway for a minute in the car. And then the man gets out. And you can hear on the Ring audio, and I have to find the Ring audio, when she was thinking it was a white man. And she really thought the guy was a white man that was following her. And he comes out to be a light-skinned black man. Well, when she see the light-skinned black man, she's like, what are you doing here? Because, she's thinking that this guy stopped approaching her because he was driving slow behind her and everything else. And he says, well, I live here. Well, she's freaked out. She never seen this car before. It was driving slow. It scared the crap out of her. She wants to, she's like, I don't think you live here. In her mind, she think the dude could possibly be a perpetrator because there is a lot of, women getting abducted and stuff like that right now. And that's what she felt. She felt like the man could be a possible threat. So after the little altercation, she finally found proof that, hey, this is my house. I'm going in. I wasn't trying to come at you. All right. So no cops were called. No one was hurt. She goes her way. He go his, right? Well, let me tell you about black people in victimhood. We got a problem in the victimhood category. We act like we got to have, we have to have some type of drama to show people that we are victims. We cannot let well enough alone. Oh my God, I'm going to tell everybody that she was picking on me and because I'm black. So you go share with the whole group. You want to call the woman a Karen and all this bullshit. And now the group is feeling you because you know how it is. These people today, they all love to be woke. Oh my God, you are being discriminated against. We're going to share with the whole world. Now this woman getting death threats. She's getting all this on her. And she's still asking for forgiveness. She's still saying she's sorry. Instead of just accepting the woman's apology and let it go like it is and let it and move forward, you ain't got to be the woman's best friend. She is in your neighborhood. Y'all move forward and try to get past it within reason. No. They still acting the fool, playing the victim. See, this is why black folks, we cannot get ahead. Y'all want to sit here a lot of times and want to know why black folks is always looked at and stereotyped. This shit right here. You gotta put yourself in the woman's shoes. It's dark. You're driving slow. There is a lot of things going on right now in this country with women, especially getting abducted, hurt. Y'all know what's going on with the illegal situation right now. Y'all heard what happened to Lake and Raleigh. Common sense do apply. Okay, my bad, ma'am. I did not mean to startle you, but this is my home. If you don't believe me, let me open the door and I can show you. You know, you can talk to people without, because you know the woman's frantic. This woman's probably frantic. She's got her kids. She's seen you drive slow. Open the door. Hey, man, this is my home. I'm so sorry that I made you feel that way. You know, and I'm sorry for the misunderstanding. Could have said that. Could have sat down and told your white baby, don't even get upset. It's just that she really thought I was a white dude. And that's what she said. She thought I was a white dude. But he's still talking about racial profiling. How is that racial profiling when she thought he was a white dude with dreads? Make it make sense. I get so sick of the victimhood, bro. It's like black folks, we have allowed ourselves to be victims for so long by these race hustlers that we have now become comfortable being a victim. We are quick to bust out and say, okay, that's racism. I find myself sometimes almost going that way too. But then I have to sit back and relax for a minute and look at the whole situation. Is this racial? No, it's not. Now, I'm not saying that there ain't no racism out here, because somebody gonna bust out and say, oh, you trying to say there ain't no racism. You definitely live in a cuckoo brain world. I never would say that. I know there's racism out there. I know there's racism with all types of cultures. Not just black culture, Hispanic culture, or white culture. There's other cultures out there of different nationalities that hate other nationalities. I know this. I'm not crazy. But I do know this. I know that the black and white thing is nowhere near what it was if you want to go back 100 plus years ago, especially in the South. It ain't. You ain't got to worry about no group of people running around pulling you out illegally that's supposed to be sheriffs or whatever and stringing you up and doing harm to you, because 9 out of 10 they already know what's going to happen. They ain't going to get away with it. They're going to get caught up because this is a new world and a new time. 2025, you can't do that no more. Just like a lot of men know, in 2025, you cannot go up here and get rough with your wife and beat her up and all this stuff and thinking that there's not going to be a consequence. You put hands on your wife, you are going to go to jail. She is going to get a restraining order, and cause of what state you in, especially the Commonwealth state, they're going to proceed with the charges against you to up that domestic violence to a felony. And you ain't going to be able to get nothing in your life no more. So play with it if you want. The terms are different. You know, women and people of color and different races, they got rights. So you can stop with that now. But it's just another example of what happens when we play the victim card. It is very much real. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead on here and get on to this last part, which we call the moment of reflection when it comes to this podcast / YouTube and Rumble episode. Guys, Trump has really done an incredible job for the first week that we have not seen in the last 4 years that President Biden has taken office. Okay, Trump has came in and is really getting all the illegals out the way. He has also visited the towns that have been suffering with natural devastation. From Asheville, North Carolina, with the hurricane that destroyed a lot of their property and got people living without any type of real shelter, to the people in the California fires that are suffering with no homes and no type of assistance to lead the way. And by the way, shout out to Trump for calling out Mayor Karen Bass, blaming her for not doing their job to keep the city of Los Angeles and the other parts that are burnt safe. It is on you, Karen. So don't bust out here and act like all of a sudden you're just being picked on because you're the black woman. You knew what the hell you were supposed to do and you didn't do it. You were too busy on vacation. Shout out to Trump for calling them out. So, yes, I feel like the golden age of America is already begun. We are going to see a lot of people get put in place and stay in their lane for a change. We're going to see a lot of people flourish in the new positions that Trump has put them in. And we are going to see things that we need. My homie said Trump's in office now. Just keep him in there like they do with Putin. That would be a bad thing, because here's the thing about that, Langley. Yes, that would be great if Trump could stay in office extended period of 3 terms. But at the same time, we start that type of process, there'll be so many messed up leaders we would have to deal with, especially if we get another liberals like we had to deal with, like Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. So let's keep it at the 2 terms we got it. I mean, I'm just being 300 about it. The last president that served 4 terms was Franklin D. Roosevelt, and that was because he was everybody's favorite president, because he knew how to appease the people when it comes to getting them what they want, which was especially after the Great Depression. Got a lot of people out of that. But anyway, thank you for hearing my reflections. I love you guys. Please do me a favor. Follow all channels. Especially follow me on Rumble with my Joel Davis Media Network channel. Also, to follow your boy on the new channel, the official Patriot News Live, my backup channel that I've had for a long time, but now we are trying to build it. Let's share it. Let's get it to 2,000 followers, guys. It ain't hard. Let's get to 2,000 followers, especially by March. Let's share it with everyone. Let's tell everyone about the channel. Support the shorts and everything else. With that being said, this is your boy Joel Davis. Take care of yourself and each other. Y'all will see me again next week, in between the week, doing either lives or uploads, talking my shit. Y'all know what it is. Your boy here is straight out.